about those people who are now supposedly in charge, because we know nobody's really in charge because, creator created all of this. You can go ahead and do your simulations and do all the whatever you want. And to actually want to fool yourself into anyone fooling themselves into believing that they are greater than God or greater than the creator, greater than the master of the universe, whatever name you have for it. It's not true. You're going to have to die and find out. But for me, I'd rather have the experience, the spiritual experience here, because I do believe that in the deepest part of me, that what I came here to do was to heal. I do believe that some things we take for granted, like I talked about the financial trauma. I do believe that that's something that is meant to be overcome also, especially from populations who have been underserved. And Haiti is very different because we've had our independence for 200 years. We had our independence in 1804. And you know what? The last book my daddy gave me was a Haitian history book. And I don't know where that history book is, probably where it was probably in my flat in England, but that's another story for another day. But these people in England who I thought were my friends, they threw my stuff away. Yeah, they did. All my pictures, all my books, all of them. They just felt like it was a good idea to just get rid of everything. There's trauma for me there. And you know what? I'm not there yet as far as the forgiveness part. I know I leave them to their creator and say to them, bless you for not what you did. But I felt that pain of losing not only my family, so I had to bury my family twice. So what is the podcast about? Well, as you can see, it's Frankly Speaking with Sendra D. I am really raw. I have been, purging my insides from all the wounds, all the trauma, that people have no way of knowing unless I tell them. That's why, NAA, I love it because they said you're as sick as your secret. One of the things that the program did for me was the ability to release the shame. And I know there is not one person on this planet that doesn't have shame. Shame is what keeps us, like conformist, if that's the word. That's probably not the word, but because I rebel every opportunity I get. But the word is to keep this population or this humanity cohesive, because we have some rules, so we have some rules on the planet, and some of us get those rules primarily from sacred texts or spiritual texts, but some of them are innately knowing how to be a good person. I was engaged to such a person. He was the sweetest man. And he didn't subscribe. He was an atheist. He didn't subscribe to, the Bible or anything. He just loved nature. He just loved being a good person. And I was constantly studying spiritual, texts and trying to, meditate and do all that. He was just like, I'm good. But he was the nicest, kindest person I've ever met. He's not the last one I dated because he was an asshole, And so bless him too, because he taught me how to be more self-reliant. And he taught me the last one I dated, more self-sufficient, and to deprogram myself to believe that I needed to be with someone to feel whole. Because I was like, oh, you've got to go. You've got to go. I was like, you have got to go, because I either stay in this relationship and I lose myself, or I leave the relationship and continue to find myself. And that's what I've done. I have been someone who had to shake in the night by myself without somebody saying it's going to be okay, turning to my creator, which is why I love meditation so much. When the world fails you, you have your insides, because that inside keeps your focus where it needs to be, because the pain is on the inside. I know there's physical pain. Maybe you get a cut or something, but I'm talking about the real pain, that pain that is eternal, that pain that comes through with you when you come out of your mother's womb. We don't know why we came. I mean, I'm very spiritual, so I do believe that there was a greater purpose for my birth. My christening was elaborate. I mean, my godfather was the second in command in Haiti under the Duvalier regime, and I love him so much. I knew him as my godfather. People say he was a killer or whatever, but my godfather, Gracia Jacques, was another pillar in my story. I am not going to apologize for that because I loved him. I used to fight with my siblings saying, he's not your godfather. He is only my godfather. I remember when I was in school at the Catholic school in Haiti, the Jean-Claude Duvalier's daughter or goddaughter was in my class, Natasha, and we got into a fight. And she was like, and she had her clique, and I had my clique, and she was like, my godfather is the president. I was like, listen, let me tell you something. My goddaddy controls your goddaddy, okay? So my goddaddy, Gracia Jacques, is the powerful man in Haiti.